The untold story of Ethel Kennedy's 11 children. They were raised on faith, fearlessness, and legacy. In a mansion that echoed with laughter and history, Ethel Kennedy raised 11 children beneath the shadow of a slain father and the weight of a name. She wasn't just Bobby Kennedy's widow, she was a firebrand of her own, spirited, stubborn, and fiercely Catholic. Known for her quick wit and even quicker temper, Ethel could be the life of the party one moment and a strict disciplinarian the next. After Bobby's assassination, she didn't retreat. She doubled down on motherhood, on advocacy, on memory. Through tragedy, she stayed in motion. She turned grief into momentum and obligation into a kind of calling. But what happened to the children of Camelot's second chapter? Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, born 1951. Kathleen was the first to arrive and the first to feel the weight of their father's ambitions. She had her mother's will and her father's vision. At 14, a riding accident nearly ended her life. At 16, she lost her father to an assassin's bullet. Despite the trauma, Kathleen was driven. She attended Radcliffe, became a lawyer, and stepped into public life with a calm determination. She became Maryland's first female lieutenant governor, a historic achievement that felt like both personal triumph and family obligation. But tragedy remained a constant companion. In 2020, her daughter Maeve and grandson Gideon drowned in the Chesapeake Bay during a canoeing accident. Kathleen, once the bright eldest daughter of Camelot, became a grandmother navigating unimaginable grief. She now mentors, teaches, and continues to carry a generational torch, if a bit dimmed by time and loss. Joseph Patrick Kennedy II, born 1952. Joe bore his grandfather's name and carried a strong sense of duty. In his youth, he survived a plane hijacking and a car accident that changed lives. That brush with mortality reshaped him. He was a man of contradictions, pragmatic but passionate. He founded Citizens Energy Corporation to help low-income families, a cause rooted in justice. His time in Congress was marked by progressivism, grounded in practicality. Joe's private life, however, was rocky. His marriage to Sheila Roch ended in divorce and a controversial annulment. He remarried, and his son, Joe Kennedy III, rose to Congress, continuing the family line. Now Joe II remains close to family causes but prefers life behind the scenes. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., born 1954. Bobby Jr. was the rebel-turned-activist-turned-lightning rod. His early addiction nearly derailed him, but he rebuilt his life through environmental law, fighting for clean water and justice. He became a prominent environmental attorney, led Riverkeeper and Waterkeeper Alliance, and authored books. But in recent years, he transformed from environmental advocate to political disruptor. In 2024, he ran for president as an independent before endorsing Donald Trump, a decision that fractured his already tenuous relationship with much of his family. Now, in 2025, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. serves as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. His tenure began with sweeping reorganizations, layoffs, leadership overhauls, and the dismantling of long-standing advisory panels across the CDC, FDA, and NIH. He has launched the Make America Healthy Again initiative, probing potential links between chronic childhood illness and everything from diet to vaccines. He's also advocated for fast-tracking psychedelic therapies and overhauling the organ donation system. Critics call him dangerous, accusing him of politicizing science and undermining public trust. Supporters call him courageous, a reformer challenging broken institutions. As ever, Bobby Jr. walks alone, unshaken by disapproval, driven by conviction, and certain that the Kennedy name still means change. David Anthony Kennedy, 1955 to 1984. David was the quiet soul, the artist, the most broken by Bobby's death. He was close to his father, and when that light went out, something inside David dimmed too. He dropped out of Harvard and drifted. Addiction gripped him early, and despite multiple rehab stints, he struggled to stay afloat. In 1984, he was found lifeless in a hotel room in Palm Beach, Florida. His death was a devastating blow to the family and a public reminder of the toll legacy can take. David was mourned privately and remembered as someone who simply couldn't carry the weight placed on his shoulders. Mary Courtney Kennedy Hill, born 1956. Courtney chose a quieter life. She married Paul Hill, a man once falsely imprisoned whose exoneration became a symbol of justice. Their union was rooted in resilience and redemption. They had one daughter, Saoirse. Saoirse's life was filled with promise, bright, thoughtful, outspoken about mental health, but in 2019, she died of an accidental overdose at just 22. Courtney was shattered. Since then, she's remained largely out of the public eye. Her life, like her daughter's, is a private narrative of strength, suffering, and silence. Michael LeMoyne Kennedy, 1958 to 1997. Michael was magnetic, driven, dynamic, and charming. He helped run Citizens Energy and was active in gun control advocacy. For years, he was seen as the brother most likely to ascend to public office. Then scandal struck. A reported affair with a teenage babysitter. Though the relationship was alleged to be consensual once she was of age, it sparked public backlash. In 1997, while playing football on skis in Aspen, he crashed into a tree and died instantly. He was 39. His sudden death stunned the family. His life was bright and brief, marked by promise and pain. campaign. Mary Carey Kennedy, born 1959. Carey found her mission in human rights. She carried her father's torch globally, founding the RFK Center for Justice and Human Rights. She authored books, advocated around the world, and raised 3 daughters. Her marriage to Andrew Cuomo placed her within another political dynasty, but it ended in divorce amid growing tension. Carey remains one of the most publicly active siblings. Her work echoes her father's voice, seeking justice not just for the powerful but for the forgotten. Christopher George Kennedy, born 1963. Chris took the quieter road. He became a businessman, running the merchandise mart and leading the family's investment firm. He entered politics briefly, running for Illinois governor in 2018. Though he lost the Democratic primary, he gained respect for his candor and decency. Chris also advocates for food equity and serves on several nonprofit boards. He lives with intention, and though not in headlines, he carries on the Kennedy mission in quieter ways. Matthew Maxwell Taylor Kennedy, born 1965. Max is the memory keeper. A lawyer, historian, and writer, he's been less visible than others, but no less committed. He published Make Gentle the Life of This World, based on his father's private notes. He served as a district attorney and advised political campaigns. In 2017, he and his daughter were arrested at a protest, showing that even the quieter Kennedys still carry the fight forward. Douglas Harriman Kennedy, born 1967. Doug became a journalist, covering major stories for Fox News, but steering clear of family politics. He's hosted his own segments and chronicled American life through a different lens. He married Molly Stark and had 5 children. Doug's perspective is shaped by distance, a reporter's gaze on a family often too close to the flame. He observes, interprets, and sometimes gently corrects the public narrative. Rory Elizabeth Catherine Kennedy, born 1968. Rory was born in sorrow 6 months after her father's death, yet she emerged as one of the most vocal and visionary Kennedys. Her documentaries, covering poverty, war, addiction, have earned critical acclaim. She co-founded Moxie Firecracker Films and became a voice for the voiceless. Her marriage to filmmaker Mark Bailey grounded her, and together they raise a family steeped in awareness. Through film, Rory transformed her father's mission into modern storytelling. Ethel Kennedy raised 11 children in the wreckage of grief and the glow of expectation. Some became politicians, some became activists, some simply tried to survive. They were not perfect, but they were never passive. And through each of them, the legacy of Bobby and Ethel lives on, fractured, full, and deeply human. If you found meaning in this story, subscribe for more untold family legacies. And remember, sometimes the loudest echoes come from the quietest rooms.